Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur and healthcare practitioner, Jason Duprat.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jason here, and you are back for another episode of Tactical Tuesdays. And so I just wanted to, on this episode, talk a little bit about Masterminds. I actually had somebody email me and reach out and ask what Masterminds were all about and whether or not they should think about going to one. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit here. I've actually gone to a couple of Masterminds and found them to be incredibly helpful. I've met some really knowledgeable entrepreneurs who are just crushing it in business, and it was great to meet some of those individuals, develop a rapport with them, learn a little bit from them, and sort of be inspired by them, mostly because that was the first time I'd really gone to an event where there was a bunch of entrepreneurs that were just really on fire. Like, some of these guys were created businesses that they were running themselves with contractors that were generating profits in the millions. So these guys knew what they were doing, and I was ultimately just unbelievably inspired by what they were doing. And it was great to connect with them and learn sort of how they got started and things like that. So I want to talk about that a little bit here. Essentially, Masterminds, if anybody's not familiar, they are essentially, there's a variety of different methods. Some of them are online, some of them are sort of retreat-based, some are vacation-based, and so there's a variety of different styles. Some are sort of like yearly or monthly memberships versus others where they're just a 1 or 2 or 3 day event. So there's a large variety of how they are sort of executed, but the overall concept is the same. They are there to provide a source of networking, a source of a close-knit group. And ideally, if you're going to be going to a mastermind, you know, the group that you're going to be a part of should have a substantial amount of people who are, you know, a step or 2 or 3 or 10 steps ahead of you. So that way you have somebody to learn from and look up to, and they can give you some advice along your way. So some people ask, you know, sort of how much do they cost? The cost is pretty variable. I've seen some who run like monthly masterminds, and they charge anywhere from $200 a month. And then I've seen all the way up to the most expensive one I've seen so far, which is, the 2 most expensive. It would be Dan Henry's, Russell Brunson, and actually Ty Lopez is pretty expensive too. Those are all in the $25,000 to $40,000 a year range. And I was a little bit blown away when I went to a Ty Lopez event, bought some VIP seats and stuff like that, and got to meet him, and as well as his business partner Alex. But at the end of the program, they were offering up their mastermind for sale. So there's several things that you want to look into when you're considering a mastermind. Obviously, you want to know if this is going to be worth your time and investment and money. So you really need to do your homework, and sort of just like you're doing an analysis in your business, or if you're a healthcare professional like myself and a lot of listeners are, just like you're doing a risk-benefit analysis when you're trying to prescribe a medication or a treatment plan for your patient, the benefits should always outweigh the risks. And the same is true with masterminds or any other business decision. The value provided should outweigh the cost, and it should at least equal. Ideally, it far outweighs the actual cost. So some of the things you want to consider and really dig into when you're trying to determine how much value is going to be provided is probably one of the most important things is who's going to be there, who's going to be hosting it, and how many people are going to be there, because that's one of the biggest things that I've seen. I went to a mastermind with JLD, and it was phenomenal. It was not cheap. I think the mastermind itself was like $7,500, and it didn't include travel or anything. They did pay for the Airbnb that we stayed in, a little condo, which was nice, but it didn't cover transportation or anything like that, or food. So when it comes to analyzing a mastermind and looking at who's going to be there, how many people are going to be there, that experience for me was really good. It was a close-knit group, 8. I think there was 8 entrepreneurs there, 7 entrepreneurs plus JLD and Kate. So that was a really good one. I found that was like incredibly valuable. Other conferences or other masterminds, sort of like the Ty Lopez has 200 people in his mastermind. So in my opinion, that's like too big. And I guess to each his own, everybody has their own preference. But one of the biggest benefits of going to a mastermind is developing like really good rapport and a relationship with the people who are there. And so if there's 200 people, the odds that all of them are going to be at a particular event and they're going to connect with everybody, it's like pretty much slim to none. The next thing you want to look at is who's hosting the event, and are they going to be available during the event to chat with, to meet, and how available are they? So the JLD one was phenomenal. We were actually at his house, and he really made himself available to us. We did hot seats, so everybody got in the seat in front of the group of other attendees. And JLD sort of really dove into what our business was, what our marketing strategies were, and really dove into the strategy, helping us develop a strategy for our businesses. So that was super helpful. And then everybody who's watching, they sort of encircle you, I guess, and listen and watch and provide feedback. They're all helping you along the way, providing their own feedback to you and advice to help you sort of take things to the next level. So it's like a group effort. And that's what I really love about the small masterminds, is that it's very close knit. You really get a lot of interaction with not only the host, but with the other attendees. So some of the key things to look at: who's going to be there, how many people are going to be there, and then who's hosting it and how available is that host going to be. Really important things. When it comes to figuring out the cost, the total cost, you want to factor in everything. You don't just want to say, oh, this mastermind's $5,000. This is pretty good deal. Like, I'm going to get to meet so-and-so, and I know that these few people are going to be there. This is totally worth it. You have to factor in, how many days is it? That's going to be, there's opportunity costs involved with going to these events too, because you are taking time away from your business, from your family, and that all is worth something. So when you're factoring in the cost, you want to factor in not only the cost of the event, your opportunity cost, your lost time. For example, say you didn't get much out of it that you could apply, that's going to be lost time. Hopefully you're going to get a ton of value out of it, and your time isn't so much a factor. But you also want to factor in your travel, your lodging, and all of those other expenses that are related. So you're getting a true representation of what the value is and the expense is. And you also want to think about sort of what else you can do with that same amount of money or less money, and whether or not that would produce a better result for you. So, for example, you're considering a $5,000 mastermind from this particular individual, but you also know that maybe they're going to be at a conference, and the extra VIP ticket where you get to go to, 2 dinners and have a lunch with that same person is only going to cost whatever, $1,000 or $1,200, and it's closer. Maybe that's the better way to go about networking with the people that you want to network with. Maybe that's a more cost-effective strategy. And when it comes down to expense, it's all relative. If you're running a multi-million-dollar business that's generating millions of dollars in profit, a $5,000 or $7,000 expense is like, it's nothing. Probably wouldn't even go noticed. But if you're a startup and your cash flow is not as substantial as that, sometimes $5,000 can really be a heck of a lot of money. And sometimes it's going to a mastermind is not the best use of the money. Sometimes there's more value in using that money for other items. Maybe you have been trying to do some video content marketing, and you can put that $5,000 towards an audio setup and a video setup, and that in the long run is going to provide more value. So there's a lot of things you want to consider. I hope that you've sort of gotten a little bit of value out of this, gotten a little bit of more of an understanding of what a mastermind is and how they can help, and what you need to take into consideration before making that decision, because some of these are substantial cash purchases. Like I said, some of them run up to $40,000 a year. And I know some that are even higher. I've heard of some that are close to $1 million. So it's pretty crazy. And the value can be returned for sure. You just have to make sure that it's the right fit for you at the right time, and that it's the best decision for your business. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tactical Tuesdays. And if you guys got any value out of the episode, just head over to iTunes and leave a quick rating and written review. That goes a really long way towards helping us get this show out to other people. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.